Thanks guys for joining. We're going to get started here in about 60 seconds to 2 minutes.
Yeah, usually once we get to like 10 viewers, then that's when we...
I have a little goal that I always try to set for myself. I always want 25 people live for some reason. I want to beat my old goal.
Okay.
Was that your last high?
That's been my high so far. Yeah. And according to him, I guess that's been the highest.
Who?
Other than John.
Oh.
During a live session.
Mike or Frank?
Mike's. Mike said during the Facebook Lives, actual live.
The one that he did, was it last week?
Yeah.
He got up to 28.
Nice. Well, he beat me then.
Jackie Hensel says, hi, Chris.
Hey, Jackie. How you doing?
Oh, dang. That's a record. You guys are already up to 17.
Yeah. All right. We'll get started here in about 60 seconds, guys.
Make sure that's all on.
That still bugs me trying to figure out why I even wrote that down. I don't know why.
I don't know.
Figure it out when I get back and I'll be like, that's what it was for.
Let's
You good?
Yeah.
Oh, that's in the scene? Okay.
Okay. We're up to 24 viewers already, so
Nice.
yeah.
I'm gonna beat Mike.
Yes.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and get started. So, welcome all to Facebook Live. Quick safety announcement: if you're on the road, please make sure you're safe. Get your pull over to the side. Watch the video if you want to. Watch it later. Turn it off if you're driving, of course. We want you to continue to be safe out there. We have quite a bit of topics to go over today, so we're going to give you guys the opportunity to ask questions as we go, just like any other Facebook Live. Today, obviously, you've got myself and you got Wade Fackrell here, the operations manager for the Glendale location. As you'll see behind us, we've got a board that we're going to talk about. The topics of conversation today, basically, we're going to talk about what we call the WMS board, which is behind us, which has multiple different areas of concern we're going to go over. We're going to talk about orders missing information, revenue to the fleet, trailers, a lot of different items revolving trailers, whether it be overdue PMs, DITS testing of trailers, dwell, trailer locations in terms of how we're going to handle assigning new trailers, stuff of that nature. Wade will talk about that. We're going to talk about bill of ladings and what to include on your paperwork, DITS messages, and the quantity of Qualcomm messages to your truck. So those are the topics, those are the overall topics that we're going to talk about today. So we'll expect questions on those if possible. Brittany's behind us as well, so she'll be sending us the questions as you guys give them to us. So the first topic I'd like to discuss is there was a topic that Mike Fisk last week brought up. He wanted your guys' feedback, and the feedback was his dog. So we'll start it off light by basically saying the winner of the dog competition was Chansey. So Brittany, if you're able to get a picture of that, or if that's good enough, I'm not sure. Chansey was the winner of the dog competition. Here's a couple pictures. And then the final one, of course, with Mike. The introductory kiss to Mike.
That one, I feel like
Is
we
that
need to
one
get
a little bit closer?
Oh, so cute.
So congratulations, Chansey. I'm sure you went to a great home. Mike, I'm sure will take care of you. Okay, so we're going to get this kicked off. I'm going to hand it over to Wade. He's going to start with the WMS board. Wade.
All right, thanks, Mike. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Hey, just want to start off with a quick overview of the WMS board. So what this WMS board is designed for is definitely to make sure that the operations team stays focused on what's important, not only to the operations team and the customer, but to the operations team and the company, but what's important to our number one customer, which is our driving partners. So, a couple of items definitely that I hear on a daily basis, that I hear that our driving partners want is good load of information set the first time, and definitely eliminate unnecessary Qualcomm messages. Also, they want miles, money, and for us to have them quit setting on the weekends. And then trailers. When we tell you to pick up an empty trailer, it should be there. It should be there where we tell you that it's at. Too many times I hear the complaints, hey Wade, you sent me in to get this trailer wasn't there. I ended up bobtailing an additional 500 miles. So definitely there's more issues, more complaints, but definitely the scorecards that we want to talk about today revolve around those issues. So number one, our scoreboard board. If you take a look at our scoreboard, there's different components. Number one is there's scorecards, right? Looking at the scorecard, and I apologize, you're not going to be able to see the detail, but it's real simple. If it's in green, we're winning. If it's in red, we're losing, all right? So we have 13 different scorecards that we measure on a daily, weekly basis. And as I mentioned before, we're going to only cover about 5 or 6 of those. We're not going to do all 13. Also, part of the scoreboard is what worked well, what didn't work well. So as a team, we go up and document on the board, what is working well, what isn't working well. A lot of that information that we put on the board comes from our driving partners, definitely. Move on. SOP audit. If you see this part of the board, that is an SOP audit log. So the operations teams, they've developed 29 different SOPs, and there's about 35 training how-tos. And then definitely we also developed 4 training programs for our DMs, extended coverage, CSRs, and planners. So what we do is, this audit log is to help us make sure that we're auditing our processes on a weekly, daily basis, just so we can make sure we do what we say we do. All right, you look at this part of the scorecard. It's a rolling action item log. So what that's designed to do is to hold us accountable for fixing the issues that we find during the audits, or even on the, hey, what worked well, what didn't work well. So a couple of items that we have on this rail now is service failure coding. We've found that we have an area of opportunity to improve our service failure coding. Also, another area of opportunity that we have a focus team working on is delivery appointments. We don't do a great job of setting delivery appointments in time, which is creating frustration not only for the drivers, but also missing appointments for our customers. And trailer pools. We also have a focus team working on trailer pools, and we'll get more in detail on that. All right, Chris, I'm going to turn the time back over to you.
Thanks, Wade. So to tie in with the board, as you mentioned, we've got 15 different scorecards. There's obviously a lot of things we can score, and we took the time and effort to kind of, we asked everybody in operations, go plaster some ideas on the board. What do you think we should be measuring right now? And we reviewed them all, and we said, okay, at the end of the day, here's the top 3 for each different category. Now this one is only 2 at the moment. After some talk and whatnot, we felt that third one, we kind of erased that one, and we're gonna come up with a third one a little bit later. And then obviously down here we've got 4 in some categories versus only 2 and 3. The first one I want to talk about is orders missing information. One of the things that we have consistently heard from the first driver council, the last driver council you guys had, week after week after week, we're sending you guys information, but sometimes it's wrong information, whether it be point of contact, phone number, directions, you name it, the list is like this long. And so our goal is to continue to figure out how to get you the correct information. There's multiple things you guys need on a day-to-day basis. And the order information one is right here. So what you'll notice here, there's a lot of green. Okay, what the green represents is people are putting up order numbers up here. Our job is to look at the order, figure out what was missing, and how to correct it going forward. So as you'll notice, the green here, we've done a good job with following up, correcting the order, and hopefully the next time it comes up, the goal is it'll be correct, it won't be wrong. We have one in red over here, we have another red over here, and we have individual people who will go to that order and audit that order. It'll be a CSR, driver manager, and tell us what was missing or what was wrong. And then we'll figure out a way how to correct it, whether it's simple as just a procedural thing, an SOP thing, or whatever the solution is. We try to put a solution in place to avoid it from happening a second time. The goal obviously is to have a perfect order before sending it to you. We should review it before we send it to you and make sure it's correct. It's going to help reduce the number of Qualcomm messages and confusion. That is stemming from the amount of questions you guys have to continue to ask us to say, this isn't right, can you please give me this, can you please give me that, versus just, can I just send it to you all at one time? And hopefully the goal, you have 0 questions other than, thanks for the load, have a great day. And then the feedback. So the last Facebook Live that I had, I talked about the macro number 7. We had some questions about the macro 7. I followed up with you guys individually who sent me those questions. I want to reinforce that macro 7. On there is a question that asks you, was my information on my load assignment correct? The directions, was it correct? If you answer no to that question, it automatically sends us a ticket. It opens up a ticket with your information on it. We know who sent it, and it's our job to process that ticket. With your help, you send us the correction, whether it's a directions correction, point of contact, whatever it may be. Send us that information via Qualcomm and let us know what it is we have to update so we know what to follow up with. Obviously, if you just say it's wrong, then we need to call you and ask you or send you Qualcomm what was wrong, so that way we know how to address it. So we put that automation in place to help follow up with you guys and make sure that we're getting those corrections, those directions correct, those point of contacts, and anything else we're missing correct. Any questions on so far?
We had one question come in. Let's see. Kyle Jones wants to know, can we get more empty trailers in the Peoria yard?
In the Peoria yard? Trailers? I'll let you handle that one.
You bet. That is a great question. So yes, we are working hard, and part of our scorecard, I'm just going to move on into it, is addressing trailer dwell. So what we've noticed is in many locations we have trailers setting too long, maybe at a customer, maybe at a yard. So what it's creating is a trailer shortage in other areas. So we have an actual focus team that is working on this problem. So a couple of things we're doing to get this corrected is, number one, we're going into our load master system and we're trying to make sure that all our trailer pools for our customers are accurate. And then what we're going to do is, off of those trailer pools, we're going to figure out how many trailers that we have at each location, and we're going to adjust those trailer pools accordingly. Another thing that we're starting to help do to help with the trailer shortage or the trailer pool issues is we're going to start assigning trailer numbers whenever we're sending you in to find an empty. That is our main goal. Now, we can do a pretty good job of it now if we do it at a TMST yard or a large military base and some commercial customers, but we haven't quite been able to figure out how we're going to do that at all customers. And the reason for that is you take the large customer, Clean Harbors and Clyde, we don't always know what trailer's empty, and we don't get 100% yard check there every day. So what we're hoping is, number one, if we start assigning trailers, we can keep our trailer pools accurate. Number two is it prevents our drivers from deadheading long ways, showing up. Hey, you told me the trailer was here. If it isn't there, and having that there when you say it's there. So definitely we're working on it, and more to come.
Thank you, Wade.
Thank you, Chris.
Hopefully that
We
answered.
actually have another question
Okay.
about trailers. So
Okay.
if you assign a trailer, what stops someone else from going in and grabbing it?
Right now, I'm gonna say nothing stops them. I don't think there's any way in our system currently today that we can flag it to prevent somebody from taking it. I think that's a real good idea. So right now, when we start this process, we'll just everybody will have to be on their honor system. If we send you in to pick up a trailer and give you a trailer number, if it's not there, please don't take another trailer if it's there without calling us and asking us what trailer to take. Just in case that trailer was assigned to somebody else. We'll definitely work hard to find a resolution, but try not to take that trailer or don't take that trailer if you're not assigned. And again, this process is not 100%, it's a work in progress.
Yeah, keep in mind, it is brand new. We just started this, like he said. This does not apply to every single location. So you won't always get a trailer number from us because it depends on where you're going or where you're at. But as you mentioned, the tri-state yards, Joplin, Peoria, etc., in some military bases, when we give you the trailer number, that's what we're asking you. Please grab that trailer and tell us why you can't grab that trailer. That way we can address it. And that's going to help us with multiple things. Dwell time on trailers, making sure the correct in and out trailers are coming in and out like they're supposed to be. We address DCS issues. There's multiple things, multiple items that this will actually help us in the long run.
Okay. Lynn Anderson wants to know, are we permitted to put a Kingpin or a glad hand lock on a trailer we will be returning for?
I'll let you answer that.
Can you ask me that question one more time?
Yep. Are we permitted to put a Kingpin or a glad hand lock on a trailer we will be returning for?
I'm going to say if that trailer is actually assigned to you and you were told that is your trailer, I guess I'm okay with that, but I wouldn't just go ahead and lock down a trailer if you're dropping it somewhere empty without being assigned that trailer on your next load.
Okay.
Yeah, there's multiple scenarios where that could be good or multiple or bad, and it's definitely a good question. I think we're gonna want to we'll take that offline again too, because as you heard, Wade, kind of depends on the scenario, right? So we definitely don't want to be leaving Kingpin locks on there for days, stuff like that. So again, we're gonna use caution when we say yes, of course, and as you heard, but we'll get some more clarity for you on that as well.
Jason Matthews wants to know, can Tri-State invest in an onboard weighing system?
We're going to have to ask that question to someone else. Unfortunately, we don't know that answer. Let me write that one down. That was Jason, right?
Yep, Jason Matthews.
Okay. Who asked the question about the Kingpin lock? Sorry.
Lynn Anderson.
Lynn, okay, thank you, Lynn. All right. With new trailers, we're going to have tons of questions on. We do have some more topics about trailers. Do you want to just wrap up all the trailer stuff since we're on the topic right
I
now?
think I'm pretty much have it wrapped up.
Do you have it all
right
wrapped?
now.
Okay,
Yep.
so the PMs and stuff?
Yep.
Okay. And the only thing I'll say is, as he mentioned, we talked about the board. You'll see here we've got a one about PMs right here. We've got one down here about DCS trailers. We've got, that's the tractor PM. So as you can see here, we're in the red. You don't have to see the numbers to see that we've got red in here. And so all the things we're trying to put into place is to help get this red into the green. The DCS trailers is a topic, we'll talk about that here in a minute. So let me go to the next topic. Again, if you find out you have more questions about trailers, feel free to send them in. We have another measure right here. It's really small, so don't try to read it because you'll hurt your eyes probably. It's called E to L, empty to loaded call. This is a lag time measure that we're starting to measure, and basically lets us know how long it's taking you from your last empty call, from your last load, to your next loaded call. So basically dwell time for you. Obviously, as Wade mentioned in the very beginning, you guys want to run. Your goal is to put miles on the truck, productive miles on the truck, revenue miles. And so our goal as planners and operations is to figure out how to continue to put more freight on your trucks. Well, this measure will give us an idea of which days of the week we have that opportunity. It's no secret that our Saturdays and Sundays, we obviously don't have a lot of freight to go pick up in terms of customer live loading or delivery of freight. We obviously can try to preload as much as we can and ship it over the weekend. And we have gotten better over the course of many years. But obviously that still is our problem child. If we could put one more load on every single truck a week, that would make a dramatic difference across every single owner, operator, company, solos, it doesn't matter. It would affect everybody. And that is our goal, is to figure out how to put more revenue-based freight on your truck. And so that's what that measure is for. There's no red or green on this one yet, because we don't know what a good measure is going to be. So we're going to continue to monitor this one, and if we figure out that this time is our measure, then we'll start to put some color to that. But for now, we're monitoring it. We know we have some problems, and we're going to address that in terms of an actual goal a little bit later. Which then leads me to my revenue per week by the fleet. So we have these two measures right here. The top one is revenue to the truck, per fleet. So we got a solo fleet, we got the team cleared fleet, we've got owner operator fleet, et cetera, et cetera. We've got multiple fleets out there. And then we've got the deadhead percentage, which right now there's no red, there's no green. Again, because it's more of a monitoring thing, but we do know that deadhead reflects some of this stuff as well. So that's why we wanted to look at that as well. You'll see some red, you'll see some green in some certain areas. You'll see where we have some improvement to do, and then we'll see some fleets that continue to perform week after week after week based off the goals that we have set. So this is more to let you know that we are watching this closely, because obviously those numbers directly reflect our company goals. If we're hitting red here, we're not meeting our goals. It's that simple. And so all of these measures really tie into that. Our goal is to make money and to put miles on your truck. So what else do I have? One of the things that we wanted to mention, we pre-book freight. On a Thursday or Friday, we start off next week with roughly 500 or so odd loads. Obviously, throughout the week of that current week, we add 200 to 250, maybe even 300 loads into the bucket. What does that mean? We start adding more freight to the bucket throughout the week. That's the need to plan and possibly unplan trucks. One of the concerns in the driver council was, well, if you're going to unplan me, tell me why you're doing it at the very least. So we're going to do a better job when we unplan you and you already know about that load, to give you a heads up as to why we're doing what we're doing. Instead of just saying, you're off the load, here's your next load, having a good day. We want to be able to explain to you why we're doing what we're doing, and it's in the best interest of the company overall. And that's the ultimate reason, but we're going to give you a better reason than that, of course. And then the last thing about that is being proactive. We're doing a better job calling our customers ahead of time to try to look for more and more load opportunities, especially on the weekend. We know that you guys have hours that you guys can spare. Obviously, there's times where you do currently use up your hours, but most of the time you have additional hours at the end of your week to run more freight. And our goal is to figure out how to put more freight on your truck. So we're going to be more proactive to call those customers and say, can you preload our trailers? Can we come in on a Saturday and load? Can we do something to help you out and also help us out? And that is revenue by fleet. Any questions so far?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm asking this right, or I don't know exactly what this means, but Jason Matthews says, is it possible to start a trailer deconstruction system? He says we had been evacuated from a customer's property, because of heavily contaminated trailers.
I
I've never even
know.
heard of that.
I need some more detail.
Yeah,
Okay.
Jason, we'll get someone to reach out to you to get more details on that. You see the big question mark right here above my head on that one. So
Okay, he corrected himself. Decontamination system.
that makes more sense.
We're gonna have to look into that.
Yeah, I don't have an answer for you, but we'll get with the appropriate people who might know that answer, because we don't know. I apologize, but we don't know that. But I wrote it down. We'll have someone follow up with you. Anything else?
Nope, nothing else at the moment.
Okay. All right, Wade, I think it's your turn again.
All right, thank you. Hey, the next scorecard I'd like to cover is overdue trailer PMs. And as you can see, we are in the red in overdue trailer PMs. So definitely we're working hard to reduce that number. So a couple of things, or one main thing that we could really use your help on is if you're at the truck stop, you're getting your truck PM'd, or you're hanging at the truck stop, you got a little time, and you notice that trailer's due for a PM, please make sure you get contact breakdown and get that trailer in and PM'd, maybe while you've got a little downtime or while you're getting your truck serviced. Also, one area we could use your help with is pre-trips and post-trips. Please make sure you're doing those, and we're being proactive on making sure that we're fixing and maintaining our equipment, and definitely not dropping a trailer somewhere that needs repairs for another driver to pick up. Another thing that we're doing to help with our overdue trailer PMs is, I know the shop sent some technicians out of Phoenix up to the West Valley, Salt Lake City area, to our yards and our customers to PM trailers. I think we've got 50 or 60 of those done so far this week, so hats off to the shop team, but definitely we're working hard on that overdue trailer PM issue. All right, the next thing I'd like to talk about is the non-DCS registered trailers. Right now we're sitting at 23. We really need your help in making sure that you're doing a pre-test on every trailer that you pick up. We do understand that you may not be hauling a DOD or a DCS, a DIS tracking load, but it's important that you test it every time. That way we can identify if it's not working, and we can make plans to get it in and get it fixed. And basically, Chris, I think that's all I've got, so I'm going to turn the time back over to you.
The only thing I would add on the DCS trailers, your DM should be asking you to pre-test your trailer every time you pick up an empty trailer, and we think that's happening a lot. But unfortunately, just because we pre-test it doesn't mean it's registered with the SEC currently. One of the things we found was that if a trailer's been deregistered, and we do get it fixed, but we don't have the chance to fix it yet, or we haven't fixed it yet because of a tractor problem and a trailer problem, but it was still deregistered, your test could have been 100% good, but that one final question of, is my trailer registered with the SEC, that goes a long way. What we found is that the answer, yeah, your trailer's good to go, we just pre-tested it, it's good, and it probably is good. But because they deregistered, we have to do the process and actually register the trailer. So if you happen to remember, our DMs are going to be doing a better job at that as well. But if you just ask that one simple question, that'll go a long way. So I think we only have two more things here, maybe three. One, the auto attendant on the phone, on the 877 line that we've advertised multiple times has changed just a little bit. We have added option number 7, which is for human resources. So if you have a question that you need to talk to HR directly, When you dial your 877 line, you will hear on there, on the auto attendant, option 7 goes directly to one of our 4 HR representatives. So they wanted me to let you guys know that. Billing wanted me to give you guys another heads up on all of your bill of ladings. Make sure you put the load number and the trailer number on all of your bill of ladings and your paperwork, really. It's very, very important, especially those 2 items, because sometimes we need those specific items to actually be able to bill the load. So put that on the top left or right hand corners, that way it's readable and we can quickly point it out. DITS messages, I know we talked about it, but the 2 things that came up were when you guys go to fuel islands that have cover and you lose signal while you're under that cover, you might be trying to send your DITS message in and it may not go out until you actually get done fueling. So just be conscious of that. Kind of send your message before you get under the cover. That way you know it got sent out, so that way the SDC actually received your message. And the other thing is sitting too long at one location at any given time. There are scenarios and times where it's perfectly okay to sit for more than 4 hours if you're sending in another U message behind that. So you got to let them know that you're still waiting for the customer to open up, or whatever the scenario happens to call for. You got to let them know that, okay, I'm at my 4 hours or my 2 hours, depending on the type of load you have. I need to wait another 2 more hours or 4 more hours or whatever the case is at this location. So they're requesting that you send another U message saying, here's what I'm doing. And then the quantity of Qualcomm messages. So about 6 months ago, we introduced something to the driver managers that basically said, we asked the question, what does a driver need just to confirm a load assignment? And then what do they need to actually do the load? We created 2 buttons on our side internally that basically said ZMIT pre-plan and ZMIT load. One of the things that came out of the driver council again is that we're still sending too many Qualcomm messages. We have the ability to just send you that 1 page of the load assignment, which is the dispatch instructions. We asked the question, is that enough for you as a driver to commit to your load assignment? The majority of feedback we got was yes, that is all you need. So when we're sending you a pre-plan, we should really only be sending you 1 page of information. Now to do the load, however, you might need a pickup number, you might need the directions, you might need the route, you might need other stuff to actually perform your load. And that's when we submit the whole load as its entirety to you. If you find that you continuously get your load assignment in its entirety twice, just reach out to your driver manager and say, can you please just send me the pre-plan? And they can send the correct information to you, and that'll slice off quite a few Qualcomm messages to your truck. And that is it. We have any other questions?
Nope, I don't have any other questions right now.
All right, I know that went a little bit longer than normal. We started a little bit late, but if there's no other questions at this time, we'll conclude for the day. If you have any other questions that come up later, feel free to reach out to Wade or myself, and we'll be more happy to reach back out to you and get you the answers. I wrote down the other questions you guys had. We'll get back to you on those few questions we had. Have a safe and great weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks.